What we're going to look at is question number 61. Which type of machine learning should you use to identify groups of people who have similar purchasing habits? Clustering, classification, cannot be regression. So because it's not going to extend. Identify group of people who have similar purchasing habits. Classification and clustering. Why clustering? Why clustering? Clustering is a machine learning task that's used to group instances of data into clusters that contain similar characteristics. Clustering can also be used to identify a relationship in a data set. So you can perform later on cluster tables. Then you can identify whether the customers, this is what Facebook is doing. This is what your Google is doing. So let's look at a little bit of this on Facebook also. If I go to Facebook, kindly please, if you have a Facebook account, join us and follow in Aksara website. We also have the Facebook, YouTube, where you can also subscribe. Please lah, nanti ada apa-apa lectures, I'm going to upload through YouTube. So here, what I have is insights. If I look at my insights, right, you can analyze the traffic that's happening in your environment. Look at the audience. Where are they coming from? Which age group of people are generally, coming to my site? Which area they are coming from? See, this analysis, how much of post reach is there, post engagement is there. This entire data that you are looking at is actually part of your analysis, right? But it gets from similar data machine learning process. But they have already made it in a viewable and nice presentable format. So you take that as up. Similar, you go to LinkedIn also, you got. Usually in your page, not your personal page, your business page. So if I go to my business page, contohnya, also I would request you guys, join our group in Aksara website. Okay, there you go. Here also we post about our programs from time to time. And then on the left here, again, got analytics. So if I look at my analytics from here, I can see how many people and which post is getting more view. You're seeing all these data analysis, right? That data can be presented in clustered manner as well. Okay, that's for that question. All right, let's move on. Which model can be used to predict the sale price of auctioned item? Predict the sales price. Regression, right? Regression. Which metric can you use to evaluate a classification model? Classification model, they do have their own metric value. Through positive rate. What do I mean by classification model? Remember, we have regression model. If you go regression model, baru ada mean absolute error. Tengok nama pun you dah boleh guess. Mean absolute error. Coefficient of determination. Mungkin itu pening sikit kot. Root mean. Ini semua matematik. Matematik semua regression. Classification is usually macam yes, no, through positive rates. Which two components can you drag onto a canvas in Azure Machine Learning Designer? You can bring in your data set and your module. Some question just affal for now. Why? Because you can create like a websites, right? Like a tabs. So that will become like your module that you want to add on into your Azure AI. You need to create a training data set and validation data set. from an existing data set. Which module in the Azure Machine Learning Designer should you use? Create a training data set and validation data set. Remember, when we looked at the data set, we need to split the data so we can produce the data that we actually wanted to analyze, right? Split. A common way of evaluating a model is to divide the data into a training and test set by using split data and then validate the model on the training data. You use the split data module to divide a data set into two distinct sets. Okay, the studio currently supports training and validation of data splits. Okay, next question. You also have a drag and drop. Which type of learning type is predicting how many minutes late a flight will arrive based on the amount of snowfall at an airport? Regression, right? Timing what? You got a calculation, that is regression. Segment customers into different groups to support a marketing department. Ini boleh panggil either classification atau clustering. Let's look at the last one. Predict whether a student will complete a university course. So, in between the second one and the third one is more like a yes or no. That is classification. Segment customers, that will be clustering. Okay? All right. Next question. Which is the calculated probability of a correct image classification? Calculated probability of a correct image classification. Accuracy, confidence, root mean square, error, sentiment. Huh? Root mean square error. No. Sentiment, confidence, accuracy. Accuracy, yeah. Accuracy is the calculated probability of a, yeah, they have a percentage of accuracy when you do an image recognition. Ensuring an AI system does not provide a prediction when important fields contain unusual or missing values is called an inclusiveness principle or a reliability principle. Inclusiveness. Take a guess, faster. Just, reliability and safety. The question says that unusual or missing value does not provide a prediction when important fields contain unusual or missing value. Ensuring does not provide a prediction when important fields contain unusual or missing value is a reliability and safety principle. Yeah. Okay, correct lah. The question is just trying to confuse us lah. It is telling what now? Ensuring an AI system does not provide. I don't want to read this question. I also getting confused over and over again. Okay, next question. Ensuring that the numeric variables in training data are on a similar scale is an example of feature engineering or feature selection. Feature selection. Feature is the all the data that we are getting. So that data, you want to make sure you select first. Of course, you have tons of data. You select which. So actually, it sounds like you are selecting feature, but more like you are selecting your data set. Assigning classes to images before training a classification model is an example of labeling. It's not evaluation yet. Assigning classes to images. Classes to images before training a classification model is labeling. Animal, label. Yeah. Assigning classes to images before training a classification model is an example of labeling. Okay. Now let's look at this data table. What they want to know is basically which one is a feature, which one is a label. Mass, kilogram, temperature, quality, pass or fail. Quality test is a label. Is a label, yes. Mass is a feature. Temperature is also a label. Feature. Temperature is a feature. Temperature is a feature. Mass is a feature. Temperature, mass is a feature. Yes. Temperature is a label. No, that means it's a feature. Quality test is a label. All right, that's good. Another question now. You train regression model by using unlabeled data. You train a regression model by using labeled data or unlabeled data. You train a regression model by using unlabeled data or labeled data. Labeled data. Labeled data, not in images. Oh, yeah. I think no. Okay, next one. The classification technique is used to predict sequential numerical data over time. No, no, no. That is definitely no. Not the classification. The regression technique is used to predict sequential numerical data. Grouping item by their common characteristics is an example of clustering. Yeah, that's true. Number two. Number one, I don't know. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, number two is no. Number three is correct. Because here, grouping item is clustering. Predict sequential numerical data is actually regression. You train a regression model by using not unlabeled data, but you must use labeled data. Which two actions are performed during the data ingestion and data preparation stage of an Azure machine learning process? Combine multiple data sets, remove records that have missing values. Afal Sajja, some question. You need to predict the animal population of an area. Which learning module type should you use? Animal population, number, regression. Which two languages can you use to write custom code for Azure Machine Learning Designer? You can use Python. Then you can use R. I think R also. R is also, yeah, Ruby, right? You know, there are a lot of programming languages out there, right? What is the difference between, like, consider comparatively Ruby and Python? No one. Syntax lah. Ruby is more easier compared with, maybe Python. Because Kali Linux, we use Ruby to configure, to do some execution commands all. Select yes or no. Okay, everyone, let's do it together. For a regression model, label must be numeric. Yes or no? Answer? Yes. Regression model kena ada number kan? The label must be numeric. It must be numeric or must not be must be numeric. If not numeric, you cannot draw chart. It will be like maybe different lines. For clustering model, labels must be used. Yeah, you must know which cluster they fall into. For classification model, label must be numeric. That one I don't know. But must it be numeric or can it be like binary? Okay, no, not necessarily numeric. Okay, this is Correct? For clustering model, labels must be used, not necessary. Ah, for clustering model, no need to use labels. Huh? How? Then how do you cluster them?
Yeah. This clustering label cannot be used. It says no.
Or maybe because must be used, can also be without the labeling also it still can work. Okay. For clustering, actually labeling, is it a must?
It is optional.
I think it's more optional.
It's
K means clustering because the K means algorithm is an unsupervised learning model. A label column is optional. Can have a labeling, can be no labeling. If your data includes a label, you can use the label value to guide selection of the clusters and optimize the model. If your data has no label, the algorithm will create a cluster representing possible categories based on the data. For third one, for classification problem, the label column must contain either categorical value or discrete value. Oh, categorical value or discrete value. Some examples might be yes or no rating, a disease classification code or name, or an income group. If you pick a non-categorical column, the component will return an error during the training. Non-categorical. So you must have a category value for classification problem. Okay. Next, you have a data set. You need to build an Azure machine learning classification model that will identify defective products. So if you want to identify defective products, how do you know a product is defect? But by viewing it, right? So you must have a vision, right? Load the data set, create a clustering model, split the data into training and testing, create a classification model. You split the data into training model, training and testing data sets. I thought I wanted to look for something to do with, visual.
even visual.
Yeah, la.
The bad one is the good one. So
yeah. So you still have to split the data and then work on the one that you need only. Oh, okay. Prepare data, train the model, evaluate the performance, deploy a predictive service. Oh, this is the process, huh? Okay. You use Azure Machine Learning Designer to build a model pipeline. What should you create before you can run the pipeline? Like pipeline means the steps, right? What you want to do next and next and next. What should you create before you can run the pipeline? So now, if you want to execute it, what is that? Huh? A registered model, a compute resource, a Jupyter notebook. Not Jupyter, compute resource or registered model. You need a compute resource to run the pipeline. Oh, yeah. That's why Azure is charging you for the resources. It's a computing power, compute resource. So you need compute resource to be created before you can run the pipeline. Data values that used to make a prediction are called features, right? Features, dependent variable. Used to make a prediction are called dependent variable. The linear regression is a linear approach to modeling the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variable. So one dependent against the others. If you want to predict the house price by using independent variables like house location, house size, the relationship will be linear. Okay. Match the tool to the Azure machine learning task. Create a machine learning workspace. Where do I do this? Use a drag and drop interface to train and deploy model design. So the designer, my machine learning designer will come in the center. Use a wizard to select configuration for a machine learning run. The Azure portal dengan automated machine learning or ML. So of course, the first one is Azure portal and the last one will be automated ML. Okay. You know what is this automated ML, right? Machine learning. Automated ML and ML, what's the difference? Basically, if you create the entire process on your own, that's manual machine learning. But if you create it as automating and let the system to do the calculation, auto ML. If you want to do auto ML and let the system to do like every now and then go and analyze my server and see how is the usage of the hard disk, how is the usage of the network, auto ML. They also have some options for us to. You need to create a customer support solution to help customers access information. The solution must support email, phone, and live chat channels. Live chat channels. Which type of AI solution should you use? Chatbot, live chat, chatbot, email, phone, messenger, all also can use chatbot, AI chatbot. Okay. Identify handwritten letters. This one again, I think we already did this question earlier. Computer. Handwritten letter is what? Computer vision, huh? Recognition of what? Text recognition. Never mind. Predict the sentiment of a social media post. The one is natural language processing. Identify an unusual credit card payment anomaly. Group animal based on multiple measurement. Machine learning clustering. Clustering, right? Group the animal. So identify is computer vision. Right in front of my eyes just now, I couldn't see. I was looking for OCR, computer vision. That OCR. OCR is computer vision. Okay, okay. Predicting how many vehicle will travel across a bridge. Boleh bagi jawapan semua? Regression. Apa? Predicting how many numbers. Regression. In a machine learning model, the data that is used as inputs are called label. In a machine learning model, the data that is used as inputs are called labels. You label and then only you give it to the machine learning model to process data set. In machine learning, data labeling is a process of identifying raw data and adding one or more meaningful informative label to provide labels, context, so that the machine learning model can learn from. Using recency, frequency, and monetary values to identify segments of a customer base is an example of recency, frequency, and monetary value. Boleh bagi regression Recency means what? Reason, right? Frequency and monetary value to identify segment of a customer base. Looks like regression to me. Or classification. Classification. Answer classification. Using recency, frequency, and monetary value to identify segments of a customer base. Segment, the keyword is the segments of customer base. That is, we saw earlier classification. Okay, you plan to deploy an Azure machine learning model by using the machine learning designer. Which 4 actions should you perform in sequence to answer, move properly? Ingest and prepare a data set. Split the data randomly. Evaluate the model against the original data set. Train the model and then evaluate the model against the validation data set. Yeah. Ingest first, split the data, train the model, and then evaluate the model, and that's it. Finally, you evaluate the model against 5 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 5th one?
That's a big one.
Pilih 4 saja. 4. So ingest and prepare data set, split the data randomly, and then train the model, evaluate the model. Once you evaluate the model, you dapat validation data set. All right. Okay, yes or no? Organizing documents into groups based on different usage statistics is an example of a clustering. Groups based on different usage is on clustering ka classification. Grouping similar patients based on a symptoms and any clustering. Predicting whether a person will develop mild, moderate, or a severe allergy symptom based on the pollen count is an example of classification. So this is wrong. The above two is correct, is it? Organizing documents into groups based on different usage statistics is clustering. Grouping similar patients based on symptoms and diagnostic test result is clustering. Prediction, when it's prediction, no, it's not clustering. Prediction, again, somehow you look at whether a person will develop some moderate, mild, or severe allergy symptoms based on pollen. That's classification, right? More of a classification. When building a regression model, labels must have a data type of, we looked at that earlier, numeric, right? Numeric, number one. You need to create a clustering model and evaluate the model by using AML designer. What should you do? Okay, split lah. Split the original dataset into a dataset for training and a dataset for testing. Use the testing dataset for evaluation. Split the original dataset into a dataset for features and a dataset for labels. Use the features dataset for evaluation. Split the original dataset into a dataset for training and dataset for testing. Use the training dataset for evaluation. Wow. Be good. A. Apa benda A? Split the original dataset into a dataset for training and a dataset for testing. So originally you already split the dataset into two. Use the testing dataset for evaluation. See ya. The keyword is use the testing dataset for evaluation. Yeah. First you take the data, then you split. When you split itself, you split into two sets. One is what you want to do the testing, because you cannot be testing the whole lot of it. So you take only a random number, you test that first, see what you get. Then, okay, if you satisfy with that, apply across the data set. Otherwise, then you take another one more set. So these two sets, which is the first one that you take to test, and the whole lot of it is called data set for training, data set for testing. After the testing, you get a result. That is what you use to do evaluation and put your labeling. So in this question, they never talk about labeling yet. Prepare data, identify the features and labels in a data set. Oh, when you prepare data itself, you identify the labels already. The features is your data itself. Pre-process or clean and transform the data as needed. Train the model. When you train the model, you split the data into two groups. One a training module set, one more validation set. Train a machine learning model using the training data set. Test the machine learning model for performance using the validation. So that means you prepare the data, you identify the features and the labels, clean it, then give it to the train model. Train model will do what? Split the data into two groups. He will train one model using the training data set. Then using that, he will test or he will validate the data set that you have tested. With that, he will give an evaluation. Then he can evaluate the performance of the whole lot of the data, because you already do the testing. And with that, you can come up with the predictive service after that. Okay, next question. You have a data set that contains the column shown in the following table. name and type, integer, numeric. Your machine learning model, which one is this? Aga. Numeric, regression, right? Correct. The keyword was numeric, regression. 91. You need to track multiple version of a model that was trained by using Azure machine learning. What should you do? Track. Register the model. Register and track machine learning models. With model registration, you can store and version your model in Azure Cloud. You need to identify a group or row with similar numeric, again, regret in a data set. Which type of machine learning should you use? You need to identify groups of rows with similar numeric value in a data set.
Because the topic for group, they already they're not asking us the values. So they already group. That is clustering, right?
Group of rows with similar numeric values in a data set.
So I think the keyword is group.
Is it? So clustering samples, cluster customer attribute data into segments for marketing analysis. Cluster geographic coordinates into regions of high traffic in city for a ride share. Cluster written feedback into topics to prioritize customer service changes.
That is grouping.
It's a kind of a technique of grouping. I mean, geographical coordinate is easy to understand. This one, customer attribute data into segments for marketing analysis. So here what they wanted to do, identify groups of rows with similar numeric value. I still don't get this question. It looks like regression to me, you know.
Identify group is
Clustering lah. Identify group, that is called clustering lah. Okay lah. Can. A banking system that predicts whether a loan will be repaid is an example of what? Cannot be regression because you don't know who will not pay. It's either cluster or classification. But when you ask, predict whether loan will be repaid, yes or no, should be classification. Regression. This is wrong lah.
will be repaid.
Oh, the predict word, is it? Predict whether a loan will be repaid. But then when you predict, okay, like
Meaning you are paying every month, right?
No,
Every
yeah.
monthly.
Now they calculate how many percentage you will repay.
Yeah.
Predict, you know, right? Bank do actually have one.
Yeah.
If you are, from a P20 customer, your prediction rate is very high that you will pay. Low income B40 category by race also got, but that is classification, right? That cannot be regression. Predicts.
So it looks at the personal salary. Yeah. Category of occupation. That's why it's prediction. Too many info, too many actually what they answer.
Regression machine learning models are used in many industries, using characteristics of houses such as square footage and number of rooms to predict home prices, regression. Using characteristics of farm conditions such as weather and soil quality to predict crop yield, because that one can be predicted. Using characteristics of past campaigns such as advertising logs to predict future advertisement clicks. Also, yes.
This one answers the
Loan charge-off prediction with SQL Server example. A charge-off loan is a loan that is declared by a creditor, usually a lending institution, that an amount of debt is unlikely to be collected. Usually when the loan repayment is severely delinquent by the debtor, given that high charge-off has a negative impact on lending institutions, year-end financials, lending institutions often monitor loan charge-off risks very closely to prevent loans from getting charged off. There are multiple benefits. Okay. Well, I think that means this one I don't know lah. I think that means what, they have a percentage, or it's not just simply you are high risk, low risk. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Now you must look at not Malaysia alone. This one, look at America. America, they have this called some the 420 something, Your square, your FICA square, your finance square. Oh, okay. You cannot entirely try to answer based on Malaysian situation. Sometimes that's why dia punya taxation pun I pun keliru. Mana ada kita tax ini? Oh, this one is America.
I think like CITOS also they look at take the loan, they look at CITOS, they pay.
The current CITOS thingy got like a macam, like a meter, right? Green, red. Oh, that is the thing. Is it apa? Tapi you tengok soalan tadi tu kan. The ayat dia tu prediction. So that's why I'm trying to understand what is he telling. A banking system that predicts whether a loan will be repaid is an example of, kalau ikut saya, classification. Tetapi kenapa kalau, macam mana saya boleh ambil ini sebagai regression if you tengok dia predict bagi macam percentage lah, macam bagi you score. So if they give you a score, then it becomes a regression. So I don't know. Maybe that's how we calculate that as a regression. Then you will have a chart already. Why? Then you just have to know where you fall. If you fall in the higher category, then you will get more facilities. Okay, another 6 more questions. Your company wants to build a recycling machine for bottles. The recycling machine must automatically identify bottles of the correct shape and reject all other items. Which type of AI workflow? This one, computer vision lah. When creating an object detection model in the custom vision service, you must choose a classification type of either multi-label or multi-class. Multi-label, multi-class. Looks logic because custom vision, right? Vision means you can object can be anything. You can create an object detection model in the custom vision service to find the location of content within an image. Yes. To find the location of content within an image. Give you a photo. If let's say I give you like, KLCC behind you, then you know the photo is taken in Malaysia. When creating an object detection model in the custom vision service, you can select from a set of predefined domains. There is a predefined domains. The MNIST, remember we talked about. Takana sumo, yes. Or 2 yes. The first one is no. When creating an object detection model, the custom vision service must choose a classification either multi-label or multi.
There's two, cannot be just two, right? So they give you either one.
You can sometimes it can be all 3 correct. Possible. Okay, next one. In which 2 scenario can you use the form recognizer service? Extract the invoice number. Yes. Translate a form from French to English. Can or not? That one is translator, but also form recognizer, right? Find the image of product in a catalog. I don't accept that. Identify the retailer from a receipt. I can, right? I can identify the retailer. Translate a form from, I think the translation is another, and natural language processing. Okay. So that means extract the invoice and identify the retailer from a receipt. You read lah. Counting the number of animals in an area based on a video feed is an example of video feed.
Number of animals in that video.
Computer vision, Computer vision, Because you are looking at the number animals, right?
Okay.
But it's very confusing also. It can also be a number. Now, a data set, you have a database that contains a list of employees and their photo. You are tagging new photo of the employee. For each of the following statements, select yes or no. The face service can be used to perform facial recognition for employee. True, yes. The face service will be more accurate if you provide more sample photos of each employee from different angle. Yes. When an employee is wearing a sunglasses, the face service will always fail to recognize the employee. Answer is today we know no lah. Even you wear sunglasses, face mask, the fella now can detect already. What is this is answer?
So
That is not the case for the exam. As per exam, or you wear sunglasses, of course it cannot. Is it?
no, even if your face,
If an employee is wearing sunglasses, the face service will always fail to recognize. Will not fail. Or
the answer is
will not
correct.
fail. Will not fail to recognize the employee.
It will recognize.
So that means it will still recognize. You pakai spec pun dia boleh recognize. Mask pun boleh recognize already what.
Yeah.
You need to develop a mobile app for employees to scan and store their expenses while traveling. Expenses. Optical, right? OCR, huh? Yes, optical character recognition. Okay, custom vision services can be used to detect objects in an image. True? Yes. Custom vision service requires that you provide your own data to train the model. Yes. The custom vision service can be used to analyze video files. Also, yes. Apa? Tiga, yes. Video files cannot. Custom vision service can be used to analyze. Cannot. Video files. Image files can. Video cannot. Oh. Yeah, lah, because image is video is moving.
Still, what the answer at the bottom is one.
Custom vision functionality can be divided into two features. Image classification applies one or more labels to an image. Object detection is similar, but also return the coordinates in the image where the applied label can be found. Okay. Second, custom vision service use machine learning algorithm to analyze image. You, the developers, group of images. Accuracy more better. Custom service can be used only on graphic file, not on video file. So that means in the future they will come up with a video vision.
That means the photo is then, so the video is that one photo and then
It will be doing multiple snapshot of photos then. Okay, so we have come to the question number 100. That should be sufficient for this session. Let me just stop the recording.